Akvile, it's great seeing you again. Thanks for taking time to speak to us.
Lovely, and thanks for having me.
All right, we're here. Finally, it's happening, the Fintech Day 2024. Tell us, what are your impressions of what's happened so far this day?
It's just wonderful. I just cannot imagine, for instance, in comparison to what we had last year. Rocket was full house, and then we moved to even bigger venue, and there's still so many people. The panels are just crazy. The topics varying, from sustainability to artificial intelligence to payments, and that's just first part of the day. So I'm just super excited to see what's coming next.
Indeed. Okay, so you're right. The first part of the day has gone so far. What's your key takeaway?
My takeaway could be probably, and I perhaps will talk about the panel that I was moderating, the payments, and this was one of the first payment panels today, because there's going to be the second one. But fintechs are more and more collaborating with banks, and getting more and more artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies, and what they're doing, and that's for me just so impressive. And then on the other hand, everyone finally understands that innovation is fast, but to implement it takes quite some time. So I really enjoyed realizing that the market understands that regardless of what pace you want, the pace is what it is, and you have to do it strong but also secure way.
Yeah.
To just not want to implement it, but actually see what this will mean for your business, for your consumers, for the compliance and everything. So it was just lovely to see so many perspectives, and also to hear that the investments are expected to come back to fintech. So that was lovely to also note. Yeah.
Amazing. That's a very positive note. Now, from a legal perspective, you're talking about these fintechs and banks are collaborating more and more.
Yeah.
I think we've crossed the threshold where competition is no longer the word, but it's more collaboration. We're converging. What do fintechs need to know from a legal perspective when it comes to collaborating with banks?
That's a very good question. So usually, banks and fintechs, they stand on different angles, So the banks say, look, so we are here for ages, we know how to do things, we have all the processes in place and everything. And then fintechs say, okay, you old guys, but we have all the innovation and all the new interesting things that are interesting for the community, for the users, for everything. And this just finding a way to collaborate together. So for fintechs to listen the old guys, but also for the old guys to actually listen for fintechs have. And from the legal perspective, that means as well for fintechs to also take quite a good example from what banks have. They are not say from AML or fraud prevention or any compliance prevention. It's not that they came up with rules because they just want to be strict. It's actually something that they've experienced throughout the years, as something that fintechs can really learn from them. That these are the priorities to survive in this ecosystem.
Right. And there's a reason for why
they're
there
is really a reason to do that.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, just very briefly, tell us, for those who have not yet had the opportunity to experience what's happening in the fintech scene in the Baltics, what would you tell them for they to come and experience it on their own?
I would actually advise to come and explore all Baltics. We actually, Sorainen is operating in all three countries, and so we just had a quite recent discussion with my colleagues from Estonia and Latvia as well. And Lithuania is well known as a fintech hub, so everyone remembers Lithuania, but they are forgetting, that Latvia is really keen to become a crypto hub. They have the central bank is very going towards it. I heard a very interesting thing. That there's a proposal that a share capital of an entity could be paid in crypto assets. Imagine this.
Okay.
So some very interesting developments. Estonia again is quite ahead of European regulations. So every piece of Baltic countries has their own agenda, but it's very, very interesting and diverse. So my advice would be, to not stick on one country in Baltics. Perhaps if your business not necessarily goes the way you expect in Lithuania, there's always Latvia, Estonia to look out, because the neighbors apparently are just catching up with everything and doing wonderful things. That was revolutionary for me to hear.
Well, there you go. This is where the action is happening.
Baltics.
So get down to the Baltics and check it out.
True.
Akvile, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Chris.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.